Hello, welcome, how are you today? Hello, welcome, I'm glad you came my way to smile and share and laugh and care and sing a song or two. Hello, welcome, I'm glad to be with you. Hello, I'm so glad you're here today. Today we have lesson 7 of Grandma Kimberly's sharing time, and this lesson is called I Choose to Live. Now quickly, let's review the other 6 lessons that we've had so far. And if you have not watched each one of them, would you stop this video now and watch 1 first, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then come back to 7, because each lesson builds on the ones before it. In lesson 1, we learned I choose happy. And we talked about how happy means balance, peace in our mind, in our heart, in our actions. And when we feel happy, that's my way of helping you remember, that is warm and good inside and outside. So I choose happy. Lesson 2 was, I choose we. What I mean by I choose we, I choose to include all of us. And when we all work together, or at least I choose to make my decisions as if everyone is equally important, equally special and wonderful, then my choices come from a happy place. Lesson 3 was, I choose to see. And we began exploring in lesson 3 how we have senses of our body that bring in information, but we can't trust what we think we see, or what we think we know, or what we think we hear. We must trust something real, something deep inside. We talked about I choose to see, meaning really see. Lesson 4 took that even further. I choose to understand. And by understanding, I choose to know what's really happening, what I really feel inside, so that I can accurately make choices. Number 5 was, I choose one. Again, that was a reminder that we are all important. We are all part of one glorious, amazing being. Each one of us little individuals who think we are a full integrated person really are only part of one grand, glorious, whole being. And last time, our lesson 6 of Grandma Kimberly's sharing time, I finally had prepared you enough so that we could begin to talk about the golden rule. And I called lesson 6, I choose to do unto others. And I called that D for do, unto was you, and O for others. Do unto others. Do you remember this house that I drew? And on this house, I helped you to understand a little bit or at least to begin to understand, that there are really 3 basic levels in how to D-U-O, do unto others. But do you remember, I told you that this house, life, my experience, must be built upon a foundation, something underneath. We had to have that first before we could build our house correctly. Well, we are going to be talking more about this today, but before we go on, let's talk about this foundation. The foundation of many of our homes is concrete, something so solid and so strong that it can withstand floods sometimes, earthquakes sometimes, winds, strong winds. That foundation of our home needs to be solid. But also the foundation of our lives, our experiences, our choices must be solid. There's a song I'd like to sing with you. And the song is, "The wise man built his house upon a rock." Would you join with me if you can? We'll sing it twice. So the second time you will have heard me sing it and seen the actions that I do with some of the words. You can try to do it along with us. The wise man built his house upon a rock. The wise man built his house upon a rock. The wise man built his house upon a rock, and the rains came tumbling down. The rains came down and the floods came up. The rains came down and the floods came up. The rains came down and the floods came up, but the house on the rock stood still. But what about the foolish man? The foolish man built his house upon the sand. The foolish man built his house upon the sand. The foolish man built his house upon the sand, and the rains came tumbling down. The rains came down and the floods came up. The rains came down and the floods came up. The rains came down and the floods came up, and the house on the sand washed away. Would you do that with me? Here we go. The wise man built his house upon the rock. The wise man built his house upon a rock. The wise man built his house upon a rock, and the rains came tumbling down. The rains came down and the floods came up. The rains came down and the floods came up. The rains came down and the floods came up, but the house on the rock stood still. But the foolish man built his house upon the sand. The foolish man built his house upon the sand. The foolish man built his house upon the sand, and the rains came tumbling down. The rains came down and the floods came up. The rains came down and the floods came up. The rains came down and the floods came up, and the house on the sand washed away. Nice. This song is to help us remember the importance of today's lesson and the message behind it. That when we make our choices in our life, so when we're building our life, we must make our choices from a strong foundation like a rock or a slab of concrete, something so hard, so strong, that house has good hope of staying. Whether there's rains, whether there's floods, whether there's great winds, whatever happens in life, that house we build of bricks or wood or concrete, whatever we build our physical house with, has a good chance of standing if it's built on something solid, just like our lives. If we have a foundation that is solid like a rock. And today, that's what we are going to be talking about. So back to my house, my do unto others as I would have them, others, do unto me. This is my house for DUO, and it's built on a firm foundation. Well, many years ago, there was one commonly called Jesus. And when he was asked, Master, how do I build my life? He answered, there are two great laws, but the first is the most important. That's the foundation. The first great law is know yourself. If I really know who I am, not how others think I am, not how I even think I am or think I want to be, but if I know who I truly, eternally, really am, then I can do unto others correctly. And that's what Jesus taught. So the first great law, know who you are. Know yourself, your actual, real, eternal, divine self. And the second is like unto it. Do unto others as equal to you would have others do unto you. But how can you know how to do unto others correctly like you'd have them do to you if you don't really know yourself and don't know how you like to be treated? There's so much more we'll talk about on this golden rule, this second great commandment. But today we will explore more deeply the first and greatest commandment. Know yourself. Or in other words, love yourself with all your heart, might, mind, and strength. In other words, love yourself. Really respect and honor and listen to yourself and obey when you listen with all of your heart. So you'll feel wonderful, glorious, good to be you. With all your might, that means with all of your energy, with all that you invest, all that you put into life. Don't be wimpy. Be strong in following what your heart tells you you are. So you love yourself with all your heart, with all your might, with all your mind. This is a way of remembering all your thoughts. How do you think about yourself? I'm so stupid. I make mistakes. I can't believe I did that. No, that's not truly, really loving, knowing yourself. Love yourself, know yourself with all your heart, might, mind, and strength. So we use our body, our actions, to manifest what's going on in our heart, in our mind. So again, we'll talk so much more about this in our future lessons and even in today's lesson. But the first and greatest commandment, the one that everything else, every other action is founded upon, is knowing, really knowing who you are and loving, honoring, respecting that self. So during your life, you've been given many statements. You've been given a name. You've been given a last name. You've been given feedback from a lot of people that you've interacted with already. And probably you're just beginning. Sometimes the feedback, even the names that we are given, don't really describe who we eternally, actually, really are. So today's lesson, I will try to help you come to understand more fully who you are, so you can more correctly live who you really are. And then you'll be able to more correctly do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Let's sing I Am Happy, because you remember, as we feel that place of balance, happy, and warm, happy in our heart, we can really enjoy our life more and make wise decisions. Here we go. I am happy, I am happy, yes I am, yes I am. I am fun and cheerful, I am fun and cheerful. Joy, 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 joy. Now sometimes when we are so happy inside, we aren't necessarily fun to be with, or we may not even look cheerful. But if we're ever confused what to do, if we put a big smile on our face and light up those eyes, we will be more on a firm foundation, more capable of accurately doing unto others and truly loving ourselves. All right, we have a new song to learn today, and that song is I Like Myself. Now, as we learn this song, would you think about your real self, not the one that people say you should be, or not the one that you've pretended to be, not even the self that people say you are, but would you think about liking the deepest, purest, realest self? So listen first of all. This is a fun song to sing because the parts were really quiet. We whisper. And then we gradually crescendo, louder, 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 so until we're singing with our full power. You know some of these actions already. Would you see if you can follow me? We'll sing it twice. I like myself. I am a valuable person. I like myself. I am a valuable person. I like myself. I like myself. I like myself. I am a valuable person. One more time. I like myself. I'm a valuable person. I like myself. I am a valuable person. I like myself. I like myself. I like myself. I like myself. I am a valuable person. Nice. Many years ago, when my children were very little, starting with my oldest child, when he was 3 years old, I would have him stand on the little step stool and look in the bathroom mirror. And I asked him, don't look at yourself, look inside yourself. So look in your eyes, deep in your eyes, and sing to that self. And I sang with him until he knew this song. And my desire was that he would feel so deeply the value of who he truly, truly is. Eternally, not just who he seems to be sometimes, to some people, or even thinks he is, but really understand completely the value of who he truly is. And then that value would be his foundation to guide him through life. I like myself. I am a valuable person. This was the message that Jesus responded and tried to teach to those who came to him. Master, what's the greatest law? How can I know how to live my life? Love yourself. Know yourself. Truly value who you are, really are. Okay. Now, sometimes we have stories that will tell us differently. They may be cute stories, kind of funny, maybe. There is one story told about a character named Popeye. In this story, Popeye ate spinach. His focus was on me, being strong. And his phrase was, I am what I am. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Many people, like Popeye, go through life focused on their body, how strong, how beautiful, how whatever their body seems to be. I use this statement, I am what I am what I am, to represent that trap. But there's another trap. This trap was represented in another story where the man, a prophet in this story, named Moses, told the people, I am that I am sent me. I am that I am, in contrast to I am what I am of Popeye. I am that I am, to me, represents curiosity, thinking, I can be that. I can do that. I can think that. In fact, a movie, maybe you have seen, has the young man in the movie who really wants to get a date with this cute girl. He tells her, "What do you want me to be? I can be that. Do you want me to be?" And then he lists off many things like, "Do you want me to be strong? Do you want me to be charming? Do you want me to be happy? Do you want me to be crazy? I can be that. I can be that. I can be that." I am that I am represents I'll do whatever you want so that you will value me. When really our true, actual, eternal value is already established. It's infinite and glorious, and we can feel how beautiful that value is only from inside ourselves as we come to listen and really know ourselves, not who someone else might want us to be, but who we are. So, not I am what I am, or I am that I am, but I am who I am. I act, I do, I think, I feel according to who I truly, truly am. Now, another story, maybe you know about this character. His name is Pinocchio. Hidden deep within this story is the message that Pinocchio gave his life for. I want to be a real boy. Pinocchio goes on many adventures trying to explore and figure out, oh dear, he gets in trouble and makes mistakes, all in his attempt to become real. Well, this was the same thing as Jesus' message. Don't be who others want you to be or you think you should be, but find out who you are deep inside, who you were created. Pinocchio was created just a puppet, a wooden toy with strings on him. His creator was Geppetto. Pinocchio's goal during that story was to figure out how to be real, how to internalize who he was created to be. And that is our goal. Many years ago, in fact, for a lot of my life, I thought, wow, we have a road map if we want to go from point A, where we are, to point B. We can use that map to show us how to get there. But how do we live our life? Well, now on our phones, in our cars, we might have something called a GPS. Now, this is a system that we can say, here's where I am now, here's where I want to be, and that GPS, that system, can give us directions just like a road map can and help us get there. But during much of my life, I wondered, what if I want to get to joy, heaven, happy? What if I want to become who I am and am intended to be eternally? How do I get there? Where's my road map? And I found so many hints, so many places. And then I finally learned my GPS is inside me. You have a GPS, a road map inside you. And Grandma Kimberly's sharing times will be exploring how to help you find exactly how to read that GPS inside yourself. I want now to tell you a story that Jesus told long ago. And this story was also in answer to the question of, how do I know how to live? What do I do? Well, different versions of the story are in different ancient scriptures. But I want to tell you more clearly how Jesus originally gave the story. Now remember, this is all symbolic, but there are some very important lessons in this story. Once there was a man who had 2 sons, and he loved both of those sons dearly, completely. He knew their inherent worth. He knew how valuable they were. They were amazing. They were his sons forever and ever and ever. One day, he told these sons, I have a gift for you. And he gave them a stone. It was a very precious jewel. I want to, first of all, show you some stones that I have. This stone is called Citrine, and it has different properties that different people feel it can have value in certain ways. This stone is called jade. Also, this stone has different properties. You can see it's a little different color. Feels different to my touch. Here's another stone. This stone is called rose quartz. Also, different colors, different properties, feels a little different to me. Here's another stone called Magnetite. Looks very different, feels different, has different value, different qualities. Well, in our story, this man gave each of his 2 sons a jewel. And their jewels that they were given were very, very, very exquisitely valuable. And this man told his 2 sons, these stones are worth so much. They're infinitely valuable. But I will give you each this stone, and you must carry it with you always. Never lose it, never let it go, never give it away, never sell it. Always, always keep this stone with you. It represents how much I love you. The real infinite you. Always keep this near your heart. I will pretend that this magnetite stone was the one given to them. Not really, not even in the story, because in the story, the stone, the jewel, was so valuable that it was brilliant and light. But I just am pretending in a pretend story. And I put my stone in this bag. And I'm going to put this ribbon around it and tie a knot and put this around my neck. And that way I can carry this stone, this jewel, near my heart, always. Well, that is what the two sons in the story did. They decided they would heed their father's instructions, and they put the very valuable jewel that he gave them in a bag, and they put it on a string, or maybe it was a necklace, a chain of some kind, and they put it near their heart. Well, in the story, the second son had a little bit more growing up to do, a little bit more experience to gain. And he didn't like his dad giving him instructions and telling him, no, you made a mistake, do it this way. And one day, when his father gave him a reprimand, told him, no, don't do it like that, this boy got angry, and he said, I'm leaving. I'm out of here. Give me my inheritance. Give me some of your money, and I will go get out of your life. Then we'll both be happy. The father did. He gave him a great amount of money, and the boy went off. And he was old enough to make some choices, make some decisions, and live on his own. But as he made choices in being happy, he chose not from his deepest inner real roadmap. And the choices that he made maybe brought him pleasure for a few minutes, maybe even a day or two. But he soon realized that what he was choosing, what he thought he wanted to be happy, didn't really bring him lasting, good feelings. And he hurt people. He became sick. He started not thinking very well. And after some time of making lots and lots and lots of decisions, some of them may be good, but not all of them from a deep place where he could be happy in his balance. After a long time, he realized, oh, I've wasted all the money my father gave me. And my friends have proven they don't really completely, deeply care about me. They're not really my friends. I've let go of my money. I've let go of my health. And I don't think very clearly. I'm certainly not happy. What do I do? And as he was scrounging for food in the marketplace one day, he happened to realize, I have this jewel that my father gave me. I could sell it. I could get a lot of money from this, and that could keep me going. That could buy me food because I'm hungry. Maybe it could buy me friends because I'm hungry for friends too. Maybe it could buy me some pleasure, some distraction from not feeling good. But as he thought more about it, he remembered his father truly loved him. And he reflected back on his childhood and the sweet, happy times that he had experienced with his parent. And he realized, my dad loved me. My dad saw deep within me something more than I've ever even seen inside myself. My dad knows who I truly am. I don't yet, but I want to. I miss my dad. I've proven that all these foods, all these rich experiences, all these friends that I thought were my friends that I realize now aren't, I've proven it's not the life that I want. That's not being truly happy. That's not truly being alive, even. I want my dad. I want to be back in a relationship with him. I want him to help me remember what's deepest in my heart, to help me learn to love and know myself so I can truly live and be happy. So this young man, he set off. By now he was a long way from home, but he set off. He was wearing rags. He was hungry. He had no money. But he set off on a journey to return to his father. And as he did, he let go some of his rags that just fell off. And there was a time when he saw water. He walked right in, washed himself off clean. This young man ate pure fruit, good, life-sustaining food. He began to feel better. He got more hope. His thinking became clearer. He was able to breathe deeper and feel more hope, feel more strength, feel more dedication every step of the way, that the path he was walking back home to his father was the path that he really wanted to be walking now. Well, a good person who saw him gave him some fresh, nice clothes. He was able to not dress in rags now. He was able to look and feel presentable. So when this young man made it all the way home, he was prepared. As this young man saw his father's mansion up there, he began to be a little bit afraid. Oh dear, what if my father doesn't want to see me ever again? Oh dear, I've made so many mistakes. Oh well, my father loves me. My father loves me. I remember because he gave me this, and I've worn it deep in my heart, near my heart. So he walked inside the gate, and there in the garden was his father. His father looked up, saw this prodigal son, and ran towards him with his arms outstretched. And the son ran to his father. Oh, Father, forgive me. I've sinned. I'm not worthy to be called thy son. And the father stopped. He looked at the son and he said, did you keep your jewel that I gave you when you were young? And the boy, now grown up, said, yes, I did. I've kept it and I've worn it near my heart ever since then. And the father said, then you remember that I love you and I know who you really are. And the boy said, yes, I remember, I know that. And I know you can help me remember who I really, really am. Not who I've pretended to be, not who I've thought I was, not who I wanted to be or my friends or others told me I am, but who I really, really am. You can help me remember that self. And they embraced. Do you understand that you hold deep within you, near your heart, a map, a GPS, which can guide you to know who you truly are, so that you can love and honor you, your true eternal self. You have that. As we explore in further lessons, I will help you to learn to trust that self. But today I will help you to know that that self gives you yes, gives you feelings of joy, yes, when you ask deep within, is this the choice I should make? When we feel that yes, then we can know that action is correct and blesses us and everyone else. I would like to remind you of the song that I taught you last week. And this song, if you remember, was composed, that means written, by a man named Beethoven. Now here, I have a little statue of Beethoven. Last week I showed you a picture of Beethoven. And I told you that Beethoven lost his ability to hear with his physical ears, the ears of his body. But he did not lose the ability to hear deep within from his true eternal self. And that true eternal self helped him to compose this song. And the song is called Ode to Joy. That means a poem about joy. Now, Beethoven used a poem called Ode to Joy that was written by someone else. And this poem explores the joy that we can feel when we are living true to ourselves, when we are living in kindness and in union with nature and with others, and making our choices in ways that benefit ourselves, and love everyone else long term. My heart sings with joy this morning. I'm alive and choosing peace. I forgive me, I forgive you. Joy is found in this release. Sing it with me, ready? My heart sings with joy this morning. I'm alive and choosing peace. I forgive me, I forgive you. Joy is found in this release. In our story of the prodigal son, the father helped the son learn how to forgive himself. And all the journey home from being hungry and ragged and miserable inside, all the way home to his father, that young boy, step by step by step by step, took off all of his false identity and learned how to forgive himself, so that his father was able to help take him all the way home. And the prodigal was able to truly forgive himself and love and know himself, so he could truly love and forgive everyone else as he did unto them correctly. Let's sing this again, but I will play the recorder, and if you have a recorder, you can join me. We will start on E. Ready?
My heart sings with joy this morning. I'm alive and choosing peace. I forgive found in this release.
Nice. Now, sometimes, in fact, many times so far, our world has lived with people not really knowing how to love and know who they are, so they could live that golden rule correctly. And so throughout history, there have been many occasions where people who have not been true to who they truly are have been in power and have convinced other people to follow them. And so a lot of people have not loved themselves. So they couldn't love other people and act correctly and wisely for other people and themselves. I'm going to read to you a story about one experience in history where that occurred, where one man who didn't truly know and love himself was in power, and a lot of others followed him. And because they didn't understand how to do unto others correctly, many people were hurt. But maybe we can learn lessons from this. So maybe, after all, the whole world can be blessed by a dark, hard experience in history. This story is called Promise of a New Spring, the Holocaust and Renewal. This was written by Gerda Weissman Klein and illustrated by Vincent Tartaro. Promise of a New Spring. A long time ago, but still within memory of many people, there was a great tragedy, the Holocaust. Holocaust means destruction and loss of life by fire. A man, Hitler, and his followers, the Nazi, rose to power. They chose the swastika, a twisted cross, as their sign. And they conquered country after country. The Nazis wanted to make the free people of the world their slaves. Good people everywhere fought against the Nazis. 6 long years they fought. At times it seemed the Nazis might even win. At last the war was over. The Nazis were defeated. That means they did not win. The countries of Europe were set free, free from terror and free from slavery. But the Nazis left their evil mark behind. Cities had been destroyed. People had lost loved ones. Those who suffered most were the Jewish people. The Nazis took jobs away from the Jews and kept Jewish children from going to school. The Nazis forced the Jews to wear yellow badges. The Nazis decided to kill every Jew, the young and the old together, and to destroy every memory of the Jewish people too. They burned Jewish books. Books are a way of remembering, but the Nazis wanted the world to forget the Jews. They forced the Jews to live behind walls, apart from their old friends and neighbors, and closed the gates so that the Jews could not go in or out. Many Jews were killed in the cities and in the countryside. But the Nazis sent most Jews to special places called concentration camps. Behind the barbed wire fences of the concentration camps, the Nazis murdered the Jews. The Nazi murder of the Jews is called the Holocaust. The Holocaust was as terrible for human beings as a forest fire is for nature. Imagine the world as a forest with trees and flowers, a forest filled with many creatures, much as our own world is. The seasons are the order of life. In spring, life is born. Trees grow new leaves, birds hatch from eggs in nests. Bear cubs look out at the world with startled eyes. Violets bloom by the rushing brook, adding their perfume to the new spring. Then comes summer. Leaves grow darker on the branches. The trees are dense and green. Young birds have learned to fly. The young deer, their legs no longer wobbly, run through the forest to find water at the brook. After summer, the autumn comes. Now the forest is rich with berries and mushrooms, fruit and nuts. Squirrels gather acorns and nuts, hiding them in the hollows of the trees, so they will have food for the winter. Birds' nests are empty now. The young have flown away. Finally, snow begins to fall. Gently, slowly, from darkened skies, millions of snowflakes, like white, lacy stars, silently drift downward. They are a thick, soft blanket, gently covering the sleeping forest. Winter, after all, is not death. It is a long, deep, refreshing sleep, as if nature were saying, "Hush, sleep, gather your strength for the coming spring." Just as you need to sleep at night to wake up fresh for the new day, so winter is necessary for the rebirth of spring. The flowers did not really die. Only the flowers of one summer withered. Only the flowers of one generation are gone. From their clumps, from their roots and their seeds, new flowers, exactly like those that are gone, will bloom again come spring. In nests on tree branches, another generation of birds will wake to life and will raise its many voices in song. The butterfly's eggs, well protected from the cold, will hatch as the sunlight gets stronger and the days are warm again. That is the cycle of life, the never-ending chain of life going on and on as before. But what if an evil hand decided to set fire to the forest one spring or summer, decided to destroy all life out of season? The tiny squirrels just looking out at the world, the eggs in their nests still unhatched, the flowers just starting to bloom, the fireflies before they had a chance to glow. Even the mighty oak tree, so tall, so strong, so old. All of them, young and old, beautiful and plain, wise or simple, burned, destroyed, killed out of season, out of the normal order of life. There would be no roots from which to grow again, no eggs from which to hatch new young ones. So much of the forest life would be lost forever. That is what happened in the time of the Holocaust. Only a few were saved. Only a very few. They were called survivors. Just as in the forest fire, some birds, their wings singed by the heat and the flames, might have managed to fly to freedom. Perhaps there might be an old tree, badly burned but still standing in the silent forest. It might have survived because its roots were deep enough to find water below the charred forest floor. It may be able to live again, to sprout new leaves on at least one of its branches. Some of the deer may have run from the forest in time to be saved. Perhaps a few bunnies survived in a hollow below the earth, the last few left from a large family. So are the few human survivors of the Holocaust. They have an important task now, to build a new life. To remember what the world was like before so much was destroyed by evil. To repeat their memories, to tell their story to children and to grandchildren, to all who will listen. Listen well to the tale of what they have seen, what they have gone through. For you are the new spring in the forest of the world. Now this story, written by Gerda, is extra special because Gerda was actually a survivor of the Holocaust. Do you see how she took an experience which was so very, very difficult? She lost many people very close to her. She had some extremely difficult times, but she chose to bring good out of that. And like all of us, we have opportunities to choose. Okay, maybe things are difficult. Maybe I've gone through hard things in my life, but I choose to live. And the only way to live is to make my choices from that firm foundation of knowing myself, my true self, not who people say I should be or think I should be, or not who I've pretended to be, or even fooled myself into thinking I am. No. From that yes, that true GPS system deep inside by our heart. That way, we can choose to live and be really happy and help others in their pursuit of finding themselves. Now, I want to take you on a little field trip. I want to take you out to my garden because here, where I am now today, it actually is still spring. a new spring, just like in Gerda's book. Although our weather over the last few days has been so cold, it's felt like winter at nighttime, and we've had to cover some of our plants in our garden, or bring in the pots into our house to protect them and keep them extra warm during the nighttime. But it's now warm again, and it is still spring. And I want to take you out because I want to share with you something that you can understand best if you actually see it outside. So come with me now outside to my garden. Okay, now we are here in my backyard, in my garden. And I want to show you, just real briefly, some of the things that Crystal and I have been growing. And we will be talking about some more of these things later. There's our strawberry patch. What I want you to see now is this little cactus plant. My neighbor actually brought this over a few days ago, and we put him in this dirt. But we had to get some special dirt because the thing with cactus, which are also called succulents, they don't like the same foundation that many of my other plants do. So we had to buy a special soil for him that would be strong and good and healthy for a cactus. I hope he's going to make it. I'm not sure. But we wanted to give him a friend. This was given to Crystal for her birthday almost 2 years ago. It's another cactus, another succulent. Isn't that cute? But we think he needs a friend. And there's plenty of room in here for us to put this sweet little cactus. So let me take him out. Okay, can you see these roots? I'm going to make sure those roots go down in the soil. Make some space for him. Okay, and I decided we actually wouldn't even need any more soil. We'll just use what they have. I'll put this moss that he's used to. I'll put it around him. And that moss is a mulch. It's actually a plant that will help preserve some more of the water that he gets and keep it inside the soil with him. Okay, so there we go. Now they have a friend. I'm going to give both of them a little bit more water. We don't water our cactuses very often because they would drown. It's another reason why they need this kind of soil to let the water all soak down. This soil is more like sand. Now, didn't we just sing a song about we like to build our house on a rock, our lives on a firm foundation, but not cactus. Cactus like a foundation that's a lot more sandy than ours. Now, I want you to turn around, camera. Crystal has the camera at this point. And can you see our grass? Might not look very beautiful to some people, but it's coming back. It used to be very, very brown. But what I did was I gave that grass, our lawn, some gypsum. Gypsum is a type of mineral, type of rock. And it was all ground up into small little granules, and I sprinkled it all over because that ground that ground is not the sand that our cactus likes, but this ground is more clay. Let's go back in the house. I'll show you something. We are now back in the house, and I was just telling you that my ground, my lawn outside, the foundation underneath that lawn, the grass, is clay. I wanted to show you a little bit of the properties of clay. So I bought some clay. Now this clay was given different colors. The clay soil that we have outside is more of a brown. This is some clay that maybe you have played with, something like this. Maybe Play-Doh, some kind of modeling clay. Now with this type of soil, you can put it into shapes. A lot of people will make different vessels, pots, cups, plates, and then they'll fire them, get them really hot, and they can maintain that shape. This type of clay, like my soil, my grass outside, has its uses. It's important. It has value. But it doesn't have a lot of value if you want to grow your grass. So we are changing the foundation, the soil, by adding gypsum, like I told you, so that the grass will have something just like it needs, or at least closer to what it needs to grow healthy. So I showed you our little cactus plants, and I gave you a real quick look around at our beautiful garden plants. And I'll be telling you more about many of those in some of our other lessons. But now I want to take you out to our front yard, because in the front yard I have a beautiful pot that has many beautiful flowers in it, and the soil for those flowers is just like it needs. It's happy, healthy soil. Those plants are really happy living in it. But I'm going to take one of the plants out today and give it a new home, because sometimes, even with the right foundation, even when we truly know who we are and we love ourselves and we're making our choices from that place of being valuable and seeing everyone else as just as valuable as our equals. And even when we're making our decisions, how can I best speak or think or feel or do that will bless all of us for the long term? Even when we're making those choices correctly, there may be a time to move, to change the group that we are interacting with for the good of all. So join with me now, and I'll take a little pot and my little shovel. I might not need it though. Let's go take a look at my plant out here. Okay, can you see these beautiful flowers? We have some purple petunias. We have some striped pink and white petunias. We have another one. Oh, what is that one called? Don't remember the name of this one. And right here in the middle, we have a plant called a marigold. Now, marigolds are beautiful, and we have some in the backyard as well. But this one's kind of getting crowded out. So I'm going to help this little guy. I'll use my shovel. I'm going to help this little guy find a new home. back and fill in. I'm going to come back later after the video and put in a little bit more soil where I just took that out. So it will have plenty to keep growing. Now these are going to be happier. They're going to have more space to fulfill what they need to do in their lives. And this sweet little marigold, we'll give it some more soil and water and its place. And then we will give it a new home. Okay, here we are back in the backyard where I have some of the soil that this marigold needs more of. I'm going to put in, this is called a coffee filter. I'm going to put it in to give a little bit more ability to drain the water. So if there's ever any extra water, this marigold won't just be sitting in it. There you go, sweetheart. Okay. Now this soil we bought from a local nursery. It has a good healthy mix for plants like my marigold, not for citrus, not for cactus, just a little bit more. But for many of my plants, this is a good soil. This will be a good foundation. Thank you. No. Over here. Okay. That's good. Okay, we'll give it a little bit of time, a few seconds to soak in. Now would you give it a little bit more? That's good, thank you. Okay, since that soil was so extra dry, gave it a little bit extra this first time around. I'll come back out and wash that out. But for right now, we'll put this little guy where he can see plenty of sun. Okay, now we'll go back in. We're now back inside, and I wanted to share with you another story. This is a little short one. This is called Only One You, written by Linda Krantz. Only one you. It's time, Papa said. I think it is, Mama agreed. Time for what? Adri asked. Papa's voice softened. To share some wisdom. Always be on the lookout for a new friend. Look for beauty wherever you are and keep the memory of it with you. Blend in when you need to. Stand out when you have the chance. Find your own way. You don't have to follow the crowd. Know when to speak. Know when to listen. No matter how you look at it, there is so much to discover. If you make a wrong turn, circle back, like our prodigal son did. If something gets in your way, move around it. Set aside some quiet time to relax and reflect every day. Appreciate art. It's all around you. Make wishes on the stars in the nighttime sky. Thank you for listening, Mama said. We hope you will remember. Papa winked and whispered, we know this is a lot for you to think about. Adri did a backward somersault and smiled. He was excited to go out into the world with what he had just learned. Wait for me, he shouted to his friends. Before he swam away, he turned back to his parents and said, I will remember. Mama kissed Adri on the top of his head. There's only one you in this great big world, she said. Make it a better place. Guess what? There's only one you. There's only one me. There's only one of each of us, but we're all needed. And every time one of us discovers our firm foundation and learns how to really live from that deep place of yes, joy, peace, we make it easier for everyone else to live from a place of peace and joy. Just like one person can really make life difficult for others, as each of us find our place where we really belong, and we live from that foundation of loving, knowing ourselves, who we really are, the world is blessed. And it becomes easier and easier and easier for everyone else to find their place too. Many years ago, 12 years ago, I received direction from my heart, not from another human being, but from a place deep within that surprised me. I didn't know it would be coming, but I was told to let go of everything and go to a faraway land. I didn't know how to speak the language. Well, a little bit I did, but not enough to communicate. But I let go of stuff. It's not really who I am, just part of my experiences. I let go of things. I said goodbye to people, even people I loved so deeply. And I went, and little Crystal was just 4 years old, and she came along with me. But before we left, one young woman who knew my heart better than many, she made something and she presented it to me. I'd like to share it with you. This is a picture, and it was thin enough I was able to take it and fit it in my suitcase. And it's gone with me from every place I've lived since then. But this picture shows some photos of some of the little children that I've had great honor to be able to love and care for. But I'd like to read the lyrics to the song that this precious girl included along with the pictures. There are children raised in sorrow on a scorched and barren plain. There are children raised beneath the golden sun. There are children of the water, children of the sand. And they cry out through the universe, their voices raised as one. I want to live. I want to grow. I want to see. I want to know. I want to share what I can give. I want to be. Have you gazed out on the ocean, seen the breaching of a whale? Have you watched the dolphins frolic in the sun? Have you heard the song the humpback hears 500 miles away, telling tales of ancient history, of passages and home? I want to live. I want to grow. I want to see. I want to know. I want to share what I can give. I want to be. I want to live. For the worker and warrior, the lover and the liar, for the native and the wanderer in kind, for the maker and the user and the mother and her son. I am looking for my family, and all of you are mine. I want to live. I want to grow. I want to see. I want to know. I want to share what I can give. I want to be. I want to live. We are standing all together, face to face and arm in arm. We are standing on the threshold of a dream. No more hunger, no more killing, no more wasting life away. It is simply an idea, and I know its time has come. I want to live. I want to grow. I want to see. I want to know. I want to share what I can give. I want to be. I want to live. I want to live. I want to grow. I want to see. I want to know. I want to share what I can give. I want to be. I want to live. I want to live. I want to live. Boys and girls, however old you are, whatever life experiences you have gone through, however difficult, however many mistakes, this moment is perfect, and so is the future. You can choose. You can choose today to live, to truly be alive, and to make your choices from deep inside, from that yes, with a peaceful mind and a warm heart. That is your firm foundation. And by choosing that way, from that GPS system deep within you, that's different from anyone else, but it blesses everyone else. By making your choices from that foundation of yes, you bless the world. And you make it all the more helpful and beautiful for each one of us to live. I love you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day until I see you again. Goodbye. I love you. Goodbye for now, but I know somehow we're never far apart. Goodbye for now, but I know somehow you're always in my heart. I carry you in my heart. I hold you in my heart.